started like any other Monday. Alarm rang at 6:30 a.m. Sunlight barely creeping in through the curtains. Lucas got up, brushed his teeth, had the same cup of tea, wore the same blue shirt he'd worn last Monday, left home at 8 o'clock, reached the same desk at 9 o'clock. He answered emails, checked off tasks on his to-do list, smiled at his boss, nodded at colleagues, ate lunch alone, scrolled through his phone during the cab ride back, had dinner in front of the TV, went to sleep, woke up, did it all again. This was his life. Safe, predictable, numb. One evening, as he stood brushing his teeth, he looked at himself in the mirror and asked, "When did I stop living? When did everything start feeling like a loop?" He couldn't answer it. That's what living on autopilot feels like. You're not exactly unhappy, but you're not really alive either. You stop noticing the colors of the sunset. You don't remember what you ate for lunch. You laugh less, dream less, feel less. Life becomes something you pass through, not something you touch. For Lucas, the moment he realized he was on autopilot, it hit him like a quiet heartbreak. He wasn't in pain, but he wasn't at peace. He was stuck in a life that looked fine from the outside, but felt empty on the inside. He wasn't alone. A study from Harvard University by psychologists Matthew Killingsworth and Daniel Gilbert found that people spend 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're doing. That's almost half of our life lost to distraction, routine, and mindlessness. And when your mind isn't present, your heart isn't either. Living on autopilot is like sleepwalking through your own story. You stop being the main character and start becoming just a background figure in your own life. But here's the truth. It doesn't have to stay that way. Change doesn't begin with quitting your job or taking a world tour. It starts with one small moment when you decide to wake up. For Lucas, that moment came one Sunday afternoon. He was walking in the park. Nothing special, just needed fresh air. As he passed a bench, he noticed a child laughing uncontrollably while chasing bubbles. The child's joy was pure, loud, alive. He stood still. When was the last time he had laughed like that? He sat down on the bench and stayed there for an hour. No phone, no rush, just noticing the world. The birds, the breeze, the smell of wet soil. That hour changed everything. From that day, Lucas started adding tiny breaks into his day, what he called his wake-up moments. He took a different route to work. He stopped checking his phone while eating. He listened to music that moved him. He called an old friend. He wrote down one thing he was grateful for every night. He didn't change his job. He didn't move to the mountains. But he changed how he lived. He started living with his eyes open. When you pause long enough to notice the moment before the reaction, before you grab your phone, before you rush into routine, that's when you start to take your life off autopilot. Living with awareness doesn't mean your life becomes dramatic or full of fireworks. It means you start tasting your coffee instead of just drinking it. You start looking into your partner's eyes while they speak. You notice your child's laughter. You look up at the sky and feel grateful to be under it. Mindfulness researchers have found that just 10 minutes a day of present moment awareness can reduce stress, increase happiness, and improve memory. It's not magic, it's attention. And attention is love. Think about this. What would your life look like if you paid attention to your own heart, your surroundings, your time? For Lucas, the more he noticed, the more he began to care again. He started cooking, something he used to love before life got too busy. He smiled more. He started a small balcony garden. He even began sketching again, nothing fancy, just lines and colors that felt alive. And slowly, the numbness faded. One night, while lying on his bed, he whispered to himself, "I feel more like myself than I have in years." That's the gift of waking up. You don't need to change your life overnight. You just need to change the way you meet your life. One breath, one decision, one moment at a time. Here are some ways to stop living on autopilot. Start your morning without screens. Before you check your phone, check in with your mind. Ask yourself, how do I feel today? Notice your surroundings. When walking, look at the colors, the people, the sky. Try to see something new every day. Do one thing slowly. Eat without rushing. Drink tea without multitasking. Walk without checking your phone. End your day with gratitude. Write down one thing that made you feel alive that day, even if it was tiny. And if you slip back into old habits, don't be hard on yourself. We all do. Just notice it and return to the present. This is your life, not a rehearsal, not a placeholder, not just another day. Every morning you wake up is a new chance to feel alive. Don't let it pass in a blur. You are not a machine. You are not meant to repeat. You are meant to experience. So the next time you brush your teeth, or sip your tea, or walk to the store, pause, notice, feel. Because in those small moments, you find yourself again. Now, if you're watching this, maybe you're feeling stuck too. Maybe life feels like it's on repeat. You wake up, do what you have to do, and go to sleep, again and again. But here's what I want you to know. You're not too late to wake up. Your spark is still there. It's just sleeping. And you have the power to light it again, starting today.